What's up guys, welcome to another ARK video, or I guess I should say ARK 2 video. I'm making this video because I've seen a lot of you guys in my comments on TikTok and on YouTube arguing about whether or not you think ARK 2 will be any good. I've seen comments about how it's probably going to be delayed again, or that Student Wildcard doesn't know what they're doing, and I've also seen people in the comments claiming things that aren't necessarily true, that were just some rumors about ARK 2 that have not been confirmed, but made people kind of disenchanted and not really want to play the game. So let's talk about it. Is ARK 2 going to be good? Why or why not? First off, if you ever get confused or have questions or you want to know something about ARK 2, definitely check out this community crunch that was posted on June 12th on survivetheark.com. It's called Redefining the Survival Genre with ARK 2 and an update from our studio founders. This community crunch covers everything they revealed so far about ARK 2. Before we talk about reasons why ARK 2 could be bad or maybe just not appeal to some players, here are some reasons why I personally think that ARK 2 will be good. First off, it is being built on the Unreal Engine 5, which essentially means better graphics and models, better AI, a lot of new tools for the devs to work with, and just gives Student Wildcard huge potential for making the game look and feel nice. Another thing they've mentioned, on top of your character being able to interact with the environment more and do things like climbing rocks, will also have a little bit more advanced or different character progression from ARK 1, where we have a skill tree where we can select different perks or abilities as we level up. And something I'm really excited for, Cedric and some of the devs have mentioned that there's going to be a lot of customization involved with your outfits or your armor, the saddles, how your character looks. Right now with ARK 1, there's really not a lot of customization we can do with our characters. And as a PvE player, I'm personally very excited to be able to make my character look exactly how I want. Some other things I think ARK 2 has improved upon when compared to ARK 1 is that mods will be available for players on console, and there will be cross-platform right from the get-go between PC and Xbox. And I guess one downside to that is right now they have not confirmed any PlayStation release. I'm not sure if it ever will come to PlayStation, or maybe it will just come later, but for sure when it's initially released, we're getting it on Xbox and PC. And on top of that, there's going to be a lot more to do in-world for PvE players, possibly quests or missions to do. They've mentioned some type of in-world events. There's an opposing PvE force, they're calling it, or the Aratai, which were probably the guys we saw in the initial ARK 2 trailer that were fighting with Vin Diesel. And the building system's not only going to be a lot better and possibly more intuitive, but you can also share your building templates with your teammates, so you can kind of have a plan of what you want to build and then build it all together as a tribe, which I think is really awesome and just kind of sounds like a more efficient way of doing things. And one thing I also really like is that we're going to be in a completely new or different environment. I don't expect that we'll see the obelisks or arcs in ARK 2, or at least not for a while, or not originally on Arat. And even though we're getting a lot of the same dinos and creatures from ARK 1 and ARK 2, they've definitely hinted at some very different plants and native creatures to that new planet that we'll hopefully be interacting with in some way in ARK 2. Now let's talk about something that many of you have expressed that you do not like, which is the third-person gameplay. And along with that third-person gameplay, we're getting Souls-like melee combat. Now if you're like me, Souls-like melee combat sounds awesome. If you like Elden Ring, if you like Dark Souls, or if you like Breath of the Wild, you'll probably like that. But for some people, being stuck in third person the entire time doesn't sound that appealing, and I can totally understand that. I was a little put off by it at first. Then I realized that a lot of the games I've been playing recently are third person unless they're like first person shooters. And although being stuck in third person isn't what a lot of ARK players are used to or want, I think a few weeks after the initial release, we'll kind of all be used to it and it won't really bother us too much. It has also been mentioned and strongly hinted that ARK 2 will be focusing mainly on the primitive playstyle, so not very much tech, or maybe no tech at all, which some ARK players might like, but for some of us players who enjoy the sci-fi aspect and the tech, that might not be the most appealing if we're stuck in primitive the entire time. Although the community consensus seems to be that there was a little too much tech or a little too much reliance on tech in the later DLCs of ARK 1. All in all, I personally think that ARK 2 has a lot of potential. I'm really excited to play it. There might be some changes that take me a little while to get used to, and if it's too different from ARK 1, I might just end up playing ARK 2 and ARK 1 at the same time. But with Unreal Engine 5, all the work and the time that Student Wildcard's putting into ARK 2, and all the things that they've probably learned from ARK 1, I'm fairly optimistic. I think ARK 2 will be probably one of the biggest titles of 2023. But what do you guys think? I realize I didn't talk about every detail about ARK 2. I just kind of tried to highlight some of the things that people were either confused about, or some of the things that were kind of massive changes between Arc 1 and Arc 2. But if there's something important you think I didn't mention or that's going to make Arc 2 really bad, please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you found this video informative or helpful in any way, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.